Want to know the difference between dreaming and doing? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a warrior. Tech goes by many names. Business, fine art, forensic science. Some think it's just technical. But really, tech means everything. Scholarships, internships, championships. It's professors who make time for you one-on-one. It's putting everything on the line. It can be fierce. It can be fascinating. It can be awesome. Most important, it's believing in yourself and what you have to offer the world. Because at Indiana Tech, warriors are prepared to lead a significant life.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that there aren't very many energy programs out there. When I researched all of the various programs recently, there are really only 2 or 3 accredited engineering programs.
I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada originally. I came out here to Indiana Tech to actually go for the energy engineering program because of its uniqueness and its ability to get hands-on with the materials I'm going to be using in the future.
Well, a few of the things I think that sets Indiana Tech apart is, number one, you have very small classes. You have very close relationships with your professors. When you have a class of 10 people, it's much easier to get to know the professor and get in contact with him than if you have a class of 30, 40, or 50. You're going to have the same professors for the majority of your classes. You're going to have the same classmates for the majority of your classes.
The more practical applications come in all the subsequent energy engineering classes. Heat transfers in a class that right after they're leaving the classroom, and the board is filled with calculus. So in order to understand a lot of these topics, they're going to need to understand the calculus there. Calculus is the study of the rate of change, how fast things change. And depending upon whether it's energy engineering, industrial engineering, or whatever, they're going to need to use that and apply that.
Professor Romary, he stands out to me the most right now because when I first got here, I had to take calculus, Calc 1, Calc 2. And he's one of the professors that teaches it. And he was a very kind and helpful guy, and he did whatever he could to help us out. He was very funny, always had a way of creatively teaching calculus to us that not a whole lot of people can do. And I think that and how he did it is going to be something that's going to stick for me for a very long time.
The field work that Indiana Tech can provide here is, for example, we have a 10 kilowatt windmill that the students can work with. We have a geothermal system for a couple of the buildings, for Utangsu and for Zollner, that uses geothermal principles to heat and cool the buildings in the summer and the winter.
The PV array system, training system that we have down here in the basement allows us to wire up the panels we have down in the basement to set it up as a off-the-grid system or a battery bank system, which helps us because we can see every component of the system actually intertwining and how they work together, which is something that may not be easily visible when you're on the job site in a career. So definitely my internship at Super Value Incorporated was a very, very beneficial program for me to be in. It was more based on the process and logistical side of engineering of my degree, not necessarily the design aspect. It helped me really learn how the most efficient way to do a task and some of the boundaries that come with trying to make things more efficient.
One of the things that we've been very fortunate here at Indiana Tech is that we've had a grant through AEP to help subsidize our students in taking some of the various trips in spring break. Over the last 4 years, I have taken, along with a couple of other chaperones, I've taken almost a couple of dozen students to a trip to Germany and Switzerland that focused on renewable energy. We've gone to Iceland last year, focusing on geothermal energy, and we just recently returned from a trip to Costa Rica.
Just last year, I went to Iceland with a couple of our peers, not even just energy engineers, but a couple of other engineering majors went along with us. And for me, that was the highlight of my college time. I mean, we learned a lot about like geothermal systems and how they converted to a country of basically like ran just by geothermal. But it wasn't just learning about that, it was also learning about their culture as well, you know, and the past and the history and where they plan to go in their future. And all those things combined, I think, really kind of defines my experience here in Indiana Tech.
You can be the smartest engineer in the world, but if you cannot talk to or work with other engineers and non-engineers, it's very hard to get anything done. I try to teach my students that while you may not like writing, it's going to be a part of the job. You have to communicate. If you're doing experiments or testing hardware in the lab, you need to write it up so that other people know what you did, and the customer may want to know what are the results of that test.
Something I would remember most about the faculty would be just the one-on-one aspect of it and how open they are to hearing your problems and concerns and willing to assist you. Indiana Tech, with the class sizes being so small, you really get that one-on-one talking, everyday type relationship with your advisors and your professors. And having that is key to success, I feel, because being able to communicate with them and actually get your problems and questions across is going to help clarify things for you while you're in classes in school, which is going to set you up for success.
Welcome to the Summit City, home to the 260's dedicated high school athletes and fans. Each victory and celebration captured by our camera. Treasure the highlights from the Summit Athletic Conference this season, or complete games live or on demand. After all, nobody's more proud to call Fort Wayne home than SummitCitySports.com.
Want to know what it means to be a warrior? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and walk a mile in a warrior's shoes. You want to know what's possible at Indiana Tech? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a warrior.
Welcome back to the Schaefer Center, and this is our final volleyball game of the night. Indiana Tech taking on Rio-Piedras from San Juan, Puerto Rico. Rio-Piedras is part of NCAA Division II, so they could present quite a challenge for these Warriors. They certainly presented quite a challenge for Madonna here on this court about an hour ago. Now, give Madonna credit. They fought with them, actually took a 1-0 lead, one set number one, and then Piedras tied the match up at 1-1, and Madonna went on to win set number two, take a 2-1 lead. So certainly give them credit for battling, but in the end, it was Rio-Piedras who went on to win the match 3-2 when all was said and done. And now Indiana Tech at 9-9, having suffered a loss at the hands of Madonna earlier today, is looking to bounce back in this non-conference game against Rio-Piedras. Right now, Indiana Tech still going through their warm-ups. We go ahead and update the stats on the season for Indiana Tech so far in this, leading up to this match. Lauren Snyder remains the leader in kills for the season with 206, but now Amelia Schultz up to 145. Hannah Tyke up to 120, and Lauren Pasca up to 111. So 4 Indiana Tech Warriors have reached triple figures in kills for the season coming into this game. Unfortunately, we don't have a whole lot of stats available for Rio Piedras, so we're going to have to just watch the game as it unfolds. Looked up some information about Rio Piedras. Could find information about the school, but really nothing about their volleyball team. But I do know they are now 6-1 with the win over Madonna earlier today. As we've got just about a minute left to go until this game gets underway. We're back in a minute on this broadcast of Indiana Tech Warriors Volleyball, brought to you by SummitCitySports.com.
Want to know the difference between dreaming and doing? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a Warrior. Want to know what it means to be a Warrior? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and walk a mile in a Warrior's shoes.
Well, in just a moment, we're going to have the introduction of the starting lineups, and I do believe it will be Rio Piedras who has their lineup introduced first. In the meantime, we'll turn it over to our PA announcer.
Student athlete, coach, and official in tonight's contest. Thank you. Now, let's meet tonight's starting lineups. First, for the University of Puerto Rico, Rio Piedras. Number 8, Gabrielis Garcia Rivera. Number 10, Aliani Ramos Rosado. Number 12, Critzia Diaz Huarbe. Number 17, Gabriela Martinez Mejas. Number 22, Yanni Sidno Diaz. Number 28, Isabella Guerrero Villabol. And at libero, number 4, Yuma Rieles Garcia Nunez. University of Puerto Rico, Rio Piedras is coached by Xiomara Valero. Now, for your Warriors, a junior middle blocker from Elkhart, Indiana, number 7, Hannah Tyke. A freshman setter from Norwalk, Ohio, number 10, Kristen. A senior middle blocker from Kankakee, Illinois, number 12, Jacqueline Holloway. A senior opposite hitter from Decatur, Indiana, number 14, Amelia Schultz. A sophomore opposite hitter from Ellisville, Indiana, number 18, Lauren Pasco. A sophomore outside hitter from Woodland, Indiana, number 19, Lauren Tucker. And a junior libero from Portland, Indiana, number 5, Emmeline Wood. The Warriors are coached by Matt Fishman, assisted by Robert Ochoa, Lisa Baker, Emma Westra, and Lauren Case.
Well, the starting lineups, beg your pardon there, the starting lineups have now been announced, so we're just about ready for volleyball between Rio Piedras and Indiana Tech. And I should mention this is the shot that we're going to have all throughout the rest of the broadcast, as Caden Linder, my cameraman, he was with me for games 1 and 2, but he had family plans for this evening, so he had to go. He had to go because he had plans with family. That's why. Indiana Tech takes the court. Rio Piedras takes the court, and we're just about ready to get underway. Looks like Rio Piedras will serve to start us off. Looks like Isabella Barrero Villabol will be doing the serving. We'll get the ball in, and Volleyball will serve to start off this match. Indiana Tech was defeated by Madonna earlier today. Rio Piedras beat Madonna earlier today. Indiana Tech going with the black uniforms tonight. Of course, we've got the orange on our scoreboard. That one goes long, out of bounds, point for the Warriors. Indiana Tech had the orange jerseys on for the Madonna game earlier today. They go black for this game tonight against Rio Piedras. Had a little color rush against Madonna as Madonna went with black for game number one. That's bumped up in the air. Huarbe gets to it, and now the Warriors will look for a return. That's bumped up by Matlack, and that's going to be a kill for the Warriors, and I believe that was Schultz. Amelia Schultz with the kill. Make it 2-0 Indiana Tech. Bumped down. Schultz could have let that go. Blocked and kept alive by Alloway. Swatted down, and that's going to be a kill for Lauren Pasca. Trying to get a little more of the court here as I zoom the camera in. Get the shot a little tighter, I should say. Swatted down, blocked down. That ball was kicked, dug out nicely by Wood. Emmeline Wood, and a kill for Pasca. What a start for the Warriors here in set number one. They're up 4-0. Against a team from NCAA Division II. This is great competition that the Warriors are playing, and they're off to a hot start. That's going long. Was it touched? No, it was not. What a start for Indiana Tech. They're up 5-0. Timeout called by Rio Piedras. And we're back after a minute on SummitCitySports.com and Indiana Tech Warrior Volleyball.
Want to know the difference between dreaming and doing? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a Warrior. Want to know what it means to be a Warrior? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and walk a mile in a Warrior's shoes.
We're back at the Schaefer Center, and it looks like it's Elise McCutcheon serving for Indiana Tech. That's going to be bumped up in the air by Volleyball. Just barely tipped over, and that one goes out. Try as she might, Kristen Matlack couldn't put it in. She got it over the net, but the point to the Gaitos. Yaniales Centeno Diaz serving for Puerto Rico, Rio Piedras. Emmeline Wood gets the bump, swatted down and in. Amelia Schultz on the far side. I believe that's 2 kills already in this set for Amelia Schultz. And she gets a chance back for Indiana Tech as Emmeline Wood, the junior from Blackhawk Christian, right here in Fort Wayne, Indiana, will serve. And that's out. Do have a replay to show you. It's the last kill for Schultz. See if we got time to show it to you on this far side. Yeah, we do. Great spot there for Schultz as she's just able to put it in. That ball skims over the net, and that's going to be an ace. Emmeline Wood, the Blackhawk Christian graduate, and it's scoreboard shows 8-1. I believe it should be 7-2. Well, we'll go ahead and change it, but keep an eye out for that. I'm quite certain, though, the Gallitos have 2 points in this game. Swatted down. Was it returned? No, it was not. Might have gone out. Hannah Tyke gets credit for the kill. And the scoreboard here still shows 9-1. I was quite certain that it should have been 8-2. That last point definitely went to Indiana Tech. There's no question that Tyke got the kill. Bumped down, kept alive though. That was via Bowl. Poked over, nice dig. Wood got to it. Close, but no cigar. The lead now 9-2 for Indiana Tech. And it's Hamiliesa Falcon Sanchez to serve. She's one of the liberos for the Gallitos. Swatted down and a kill for Tyke. Hannah Tyke. And our scoreboard does show a 10-2 score. Tyke out of Elkhart, Indiana. It's about an hour and a half away from here in Fort Wayne, give or take. Bumped up in the air by Via Bowl. Dug out by Matlack. Strasma just got it over for Indiana Tech. Barely dug out, but that will not reach the net. And it's going to be called a point for the Gallitos. So I must have had something wrong here. They have not, obviously they've changed the score as we've gone on, but right now, 2 points ago for Rio Piedras, I thought that they already had 2 points on the board. Right now the score shows that they have 3. In other words, they would have had 1 2 points ago. Hard swat there by Tyke. Swatted back the other way. That appeared to be touched by Indiana Tech, and it was. Rio Piedras gets the point. 10-4 the score, and back to serve for Rio Piedras is number 8, Yadielis Garcia Rivera. They do list the full names of these athletes for Rio Piedras. McCutcheon digs it out. And that's going to be a kill for Pasca. Lauren Pasca, the sophomore from Noblesville. Pasca, a graduate of LaPel High School. So that's bumped up in the air. A chance for Rio Piedras, and that is long. It's essentially going to be an ace. This is NCAA Division II competition that the Warriors are playing, and they're off to a hot start. 12-4 your score. Just barely dug out, swatted back, and it was touched. Strasma with the kill. What a hot start for the Warriors. As Hylianis Mateo Isaac comes into the game for Puerto Rico Rio Piedras. And we've got a little stoppage in the action. Looks like it's just a brief stoppage. So Pasca serves, and that's long. And a serve coming up for Critzia Diaz-Huarbe. Huarbe serves, and that is going out. Pasca just backed out of the way, and that was a good decision. 14-5. Hannah Tyke will serve for Indiana Tech. Dug out and an ace. Hannah Tyke's had some impressive kills, and right now she's trying to make it at least 3 straight points scored for Indiana Tech. They're up 10. What a start for the Lady Warriors. Diving effort by Santiago. Swatted down and out. That was Alloway who sent it long, and it's 15-6. Emmeline Wood will check in for Indiana Tech. Aliani Ramos-Rosado will serve. Nope, she's going to go out, and they're going to let Andrea Alvarez-Montilla, she'll serve. 15-6, great start for Indiana Tech here in set number 1. Dug up. And that's Snyder who sends it over. Santiago trying to set it up, and a kill for Isaac. Hylianis Mateo Isaac with a hard strike. And look out, are the Gaitos on the comeback trail. Remember, this is NCAA Division II competition that the Warriors are playing. They've started off this game extremely well, but can they keep it up? Bumped up in the air by Snyder. And try to set her up. Snyder, the shot. She got it. She got the line. Lauren Snyder, the Woodland grad. Indiana Tech will be back in action this coming Wednesday when they take on Siena Heights. That's another conference matchup. Warriors are 3-4 in conference play with the loss to Madonna earlier today. Blocked down. Jacqueline Alloway brings it back. Timeout. Rio Piedras calls the timeout while they take this timeout. Might have a couple replays I can show you. Here's the first one. I think this is the block from Snyder just moments ago. Make that the kill, and she just barely got that outside line when she swatted it down. And Indiana Tech goes up 9 with that one. And we'll see Alloway's block right here. She and Snyder were in the area. Alloway just reached up. Snyder did too. They gave the point to Alloway, and I think that was accurate. 17-7. Great start for Indiana Tech against a 5-1 Rio Piedras squad from NCAA Division II. And this is not a losing team either. Rio Piedras comes in at 6-1. They're having an outstanding season. This is Kristen Matlack, the freshman from Norwalk, Ohio, to serve for Indiana Tech. She had an impressive run serving the end of set 2 against Madonna. Bumped down but out. Pasca and Alloway were in the area. Check that. That's Schultz. The ball goes out. 17-8 the score. Try and check on that women's soccer game between Indiana Tech and Cornerstone. Looks like they've gone final. Let's know a final score when I get one. Did that go out? Yes, it did. Nice try by Schultz, but she sent it a little bit long, and that's back-to-back points for Rio Piedras. Indiana Tech got the first 5 points. At least I think that was the case. I thought at one point the score was 7-2, and then it or 8-2, and then it became 9-1. As that one goes into the net, no question there. It's a point for Indiana Tech. 18-9. This is going to be Elise McCutcheon doing the serving for Indiana Tech. Native of Evansville, Indiana. She went to Evansville North, down by the Kentucky border. Now, Evansville North would not be quite as close to the Kentucky border, but the town of Evansville is down by the Kentucky border. That was Snyder and Alloway getting up there to block the shot. Another point for the Warriors. McCutcheon serves. Bumped up by Villabol. Dug out by Wood over the net. Swatted down, bumped up by McCutcheon. Snyder. Oh, that went hard off of Montilla, and a kill for Snyder, and it's 20-9. Lauren Snyder continues to have a good game. Well, hopefully in between sets I can get you some live stats from this game. Indiana Tech does keep live stats and shows them on their website. Blocked down and a kill, and I think that's going to be Alloway. Alloway and Snyder were in the area, and it sounds like they gave the block to Alloway. 21-9. That's an ace. That went off Montilla. McCutcheon. Elsie McCutcheon with the service ace. That ball's rolling toward the court. Hurry up, Jack. He got it just in time. And an ace. That ball was rolling toward the Indiana Tech side of the court, and the ball just dropped in no man's land on the Piedras side. 23-9. McCutcheon into the net. Volleyball serving. Swatted down. They're going to call that a point for the Warriors. This is set point. What a start to this match for Indiana Tech. 24-10. Emmeline Wood, the Blackhawk Christian grad, serving. Dug up. Volleyball bumps it. Swatted down. Still alive. Volleyball keeps it alive. Swatted down. Tyke with the kill. And Indiana Tech takes set number one. What a great start to this match for the Warriors. At least I thought that was Tyke. Snyder was in the area. Let's take another look at it. Indiana Tech Warrior replay. Broadcast, of course, is brought to you by SummitCitySports.com. Yeah, that's Tyke, and a hard strike it was, as Andrea Alvarez-Montilla could not dig it out. We'll check on the live stats from this game. Indiana Tech winning set number one. Well, as far as I can tell, only 6 kills officially credited to Puerto Rico-Rio Piedras. 2 for Rivera, 2 for Huarbe, 1 for Isaac, and 1 for Diaz. For Indiana Tech, Lauren Pasca with 4 kills, Amelia Schultz with 3, Hannah Tyke with 3, and Lauren Snyder officially only 1. I thought she had more than that. That's a bit surprising. Strasma also only with 1. 2 aces for Elsie McCutcheon. Emmeline Wood with 2 aces as well, and 1 for Hannah Tyke. 9 assists for Kristen Matlack, the freshman from Norwalk, Ohio. She's lost an impressive start so far this season. Second set comes your way in a matter of moment. Warriors lead at 1-0. We're back after this break. This is Warrior Volleyball.
I think it's really important for freshmen to realize you get out of college what you put into it. If you dedicate yourself to your classes and to your projects and to what you're doing in college, you're going to have a really great experience here.
I wish someone would have told me my freshman year that it's important to prioritize, knowing what's important, what's not important, knowing what I need to do opposed to what I want to do.
The 2 things that I think all freshmen should know is buy a parking permit so you don't rack up a bunch of fines and tickets, and also make sure you go to class, because it seems like a good idea when you're skipping, but then it's not worth it in the end when you fail the test or don't turn in homework.
As an international student, my advice for the freshmen is to not be afraid to make friends, because your friends here will end up being your family away from home.
Anything that you want to do, anything that you want to put on, anything that you want to showcase on campus, you can. There's always people around to help you do what you want to do here.
Make sure that you always take time for yourself to make sure that you're okay, because college can be very overwhelming as far as like schoolwork and friends and sports and just like everyday life. Always just make sure that you get what you need to get done.
It's important to have a relationship with your professors because you become more personable with them. You start to engage in the material more. They can give you recommendations, especially once you get out of college. You definitely want to put them down as like references. And if you have a better personal relationship, it just makes the whole learning experience go smoothly.
A 1-0 lead after one set for Indiana Tech. Going up against Puerto Rico, Rio-Piedras. The Warriors going up against a team from NCAA Division II. And they opened up with a 5-0 lead in set number one. I honestly cannot tell what the fans are saying. We want something. That last word is the one that escaped me. But a great start to this game for Indiana Tech as they take set number one, starting off with a 5-0 lead, and then officially winning it 25-10. Both teams are back out on the court. The between sets clock has run out. We're waiting for the official to put the ball in play so that Rio-Piedras can serve it. And also, we're also waiting for a libero, Emmeline Wood, the junior out of Blackhawk Christian. I believe she also transferred in from Concordia Ann Arbor. It's actually going to be Indiana Tech who serves first. Kristen Matlack, the freshman from Norwalk, Ohio, and good things have happened when she served, and some of that is to her credit. It's also to the credit of these Indiana Tech Warrior teammates making things happen once the ball's in play. That's barely dug out. Isaac pokes it over. Wood gets to it. Matlack trying to set it up. It's blocked. That's going to be a net violation. And Indiana Tech takes the 1-0 lead here in set number two. Indiana Tech had a whole lot of time to rest, maybe get a bite to eat, maybe do some stretches before they went into their warm-ups for match number two of the day as that one goes into the net. And now Rio-Piedras has a chance to take the lead. They have not led at any point in this match. Dug up, blocked down, and a kill. And I think that was number 14, Figueroa. Check that. That wasn't Figueroa. Hard to tell who it was, but it's 2-1 in favor of Rio-Piedras as they try to answer here in set number two. Contacted, still live. Swatted over. They called that out. Morales hit it. Might need to get a look at that. At this point, it's a point for Indiana Tech. I may have to wait to show you that replay as McCutcheon's ready to serve for the Warriors. That's dug out by Montilla, blocked back and out. Well, that's definitely going to be a point for Rio-Piedras, but here's the last point for Indiana Tech. They called this out. It's only out if it went outside that bar. And I don't think it did. Either way, though, it is 3-2 in favor of Rio-Piedras. They're probably thinking it should be 4-1. That's going to be an ace. Great response by the Gallitos as McCutcheon's dig attempt comes up short. 4-2 in favor of Rio-Piedras. Kept alive for now, and that is going to drop in front of the stands. An ace again for Rio-Piedras. They're up 5-2. And now can Indiana Tech battle back after falling behind by 3? Paige Redder will check into the game for the Warriors. Senior out of Grand Haven, Michigan. 5-2 our score. Wood digs it up. Deflected in the air and still live. Snyder was going for the kill there. That's going long. It's out. Oh, no, they're giving the point to Rio Piedras. I think they're saying Schultz touched it. Sanchez to serve. Wood digs it up. Put back in play and dug out by Sanchez. Deflected and down. Timeout called by Indiana Tech. They're down 7-2. I'm going to look at this last replay. Did Indiana Tech actually touch this? Looked like they were about to get momentum back on their side. It's close. Schultz might have gotten it by the fingertips. Going to try and check on the final from that women's soccer game. Looks like Indiana Tech has gone final against Cornerstone in women's soccer. The men's soccer team defeated Cornerstone earlier today. As for women's, they win it 1-0. A 1-0 victory for Indiana Tech over Cornerstone in women's soccer. Volleyball team trying to come away with a win here on the court. They've got one set under their belts. But here in set number 2, it's Puerto Rico-Rio Piedras leading 7-2. Warriors already lost to Madonna, trying to get at least one game out of this tri-match. And it is Sanchez to serve. Bumped over and bumped back over by the Gallitos. Snyder has it deflected. Poked back over. Barely poked over there by Alloway. And did that touch Indiana Tech? It did. 8-2. What a response by Rio Piedras. They're up 8-2 and trying to run away with this set. Kind of like Indiana Tech did in set number 1. Dug out by Wood. Swatted down, blocked back. That was Montilla. And it's 9-2 in favor of Puerto Rico, Rio Piedras. Blocked down, and there's a kill for Indiana Tech. That's Schultz, Amelia Schultz. And finally, the Warriors stop this run put together by the Gallitos. Emmeline Wood, the junior, serving for the Warriors. She gets it over. Bumped up in the air by Morales. And that's going to be a kill for Montilla, I think. Another point either way for Rio Piedras, and they're up 10-3. That ball actually ricocheted almost into the second deck up here. Block comes up short, returned. Dug out, still live. Snyder, or rather Schultz, gets to it. McCutcheon just gets it over. And bumped back over by Rivera. Schultz has it blocked. Morales with the rejection. 11-3 in favor of the Gallitos. And Indiana Tech looking to bounce back. They won 25-10 in set number 1, but the Gallitos have responded. Matlack sets it up and a kill for Schultz. Amelia Schultz. And with that, Isabella Azale and J.C. Strasmo will check in. It'll be Azale to serve. Swatted over, dug up, swatted back, dug up on the other end by Sanchez. Bumped up in the air. Azalea trying to set it up, and that comes up short. Paige Redder was trying to get it over, and she comes up short. Serve coming up for Rio Piedras. Azalea trying to set it up. And that's going to be a kill for the Warriors on the far side. J.C. Strasma. Now, one thing Indiana Tech has not done here in set number 2, they have not gotten back-to-back points. Can they break that streak? Swatted down. They won't break it here. Off of Azalea, the kill goes to Diaz. Yanieli Centeno Diaz. 13-5. Dug out. Azalea gets to it. Is able to set up Tyke. Block back, out. Point to the Gallitos. They're up 14-5. Gabriela Martinez Mejias will do the serving. Swatted down, that's out. Snyder sent it a little bit too long, and it's 15-5. I believe we got to this score in set number 1, but it was Indiana Tech who had the 15. Ended up winning it by 15. In this case, it's Rio Piedras who's first to 15. Strasma going to get the kill. J.C. Strasma comes up big, and now it's Tyke. Hannah Tyke from Elkhart, Indiana, serving for the Warriors as they're down 9. Again, they have not gotten back-to-back points at any point in this set. Poked over. Dug out, and swatted down. Is that Snyder? Nope, Alloway. Alloway gets the kill, and finally the Warriors get back-to-back points. Swatted down. Strasma tried to block it to no avail. And it's 16-7. Nayelis Colon Santiago to serve for the Gallitos. Up in the air, Strasma got it! Hard strike, and she got that far corner. Indiana Tech finally got back-to-back points not too long ago, and now they're going to have Kristen Matlack serving. 16-8 the score. Bumped up in the air by Sanchez. Swatted down, blocked back. Sanchez returns. Matlack trying to set it up. Returned by Alloway. Blocked down by the Warriors. Snyder and Alloway in the area. They'll give it to Snyder. 7-point game. Now, one thing Indiana Tech has not done is they have not scored back-to-back points on back-to-back serves. They have scored back-to-back points, but they have not scored on back-to-back serves. Over the net. Wood gets to it. Deflected, still live. As Schultz tried to send it over, and that comes up short. And it's 16-10, Indiana Tech looking to come from behind. They've scored the last 3. That one's dug out. Swatted down, and it's long and out of bounds. 16-11. And Matlack will serve. Timeout called by the Gallitos. While they take this timeout, we'll also take a timeout. You're watching Indiana Tech Warrior Volleyball, brought to you by SummitCitySports.com.
Tech goes by many names. Business, fine art, forensic science. Some think it's just technical. But really, tech means everything. Scholarships, internships, championships. It's professors who make time for you one-on-one. It's putting everything on the line. It can be fierce. It can be fascinating. It can be awesome. Most important, it's believing in yourself and what you have to offer the world. Because at Indiana Tech, Warriors are prepared to lead a significant life.
(16-11). Puerto Rico-Rio Piedras has the lead, but Indiana Tech does have the last 4 points, I do believe. Had gone a while without back-to-back points in this set, but they're trying to bounce back. They're on the comeback trail as that's sent over by Matlack. Did that go out? I think Indiana Tech might have touched it. There's some discussion. They're going to give the point to Rio Piedras. And so the Gallitos slow things down. Matt Fishman thinks that it wasn't touched. And the call's going to be upheld. They have not. Oh, they're going to challenge. So Indiana Tech is challenging the call. So the official will go ahead and look at it. Right now the score is 17-11. We'll take a look at it here on our replay. We do have the replay. The officials won't get to see this look. Was this ball touched before it went out? I think Matt Fishman suggesting that it hit the net. It was close. Thank you for asking me to give anything definitive from that angle. It's going to be hard to do so. I think they've got multiple angles here in the gym that they can use. So the official takes a look at it. As Matt Fishman has a little humorous conversation with Xiomara Malero, the head coach for Puerto Rico-Rio Piedras. Official still taking a look at it. We'll get one more look at it on our replay here, our Indiana Tech Warrior replay. Again, was this touched by the Warriors before it went out of bounds? I saw some vibration with the net there, so I don't know. It might be that the ball hit the net but was not touched by Indiana Tech. I think that's what Matt Fishman was claiming as Fishman talks things over with his athletes. Did get word that the Detroit Tigers won today over the Boston Red Sox, so the Tigers are in the playoffs. Of course, the Guardians play the Rangers later tonight. I think the Guardians get the tiebreaker if they were to have the same record with the Tigers at the end of the regular season. Officials still taking a look at it. I'll show you the replay one more time on our Indiana Tech Warrior replay. Is this ball touched by the Warriors before it goes out of bounds? That was the original call. Yeah, having looked at that replay 3 times, I think the ball hits the net but does not get touched by Indiana Tech. That's the argument that Fishman is making. And it looks like a verdict has been reached. The question is, what is that verdict? Referees communicating with each other, I do believe. I thought a verdict had been reached. It's taken a while for that verdict to be delivered. Again, from the replays that I saw, it looked as though the ball hit the net, but was not touched by Indiana Tech. Of course, that's from up here, from a good ways away, and not everything's easy to tell. And now the officials are going to continue to have a discussion. But again, as I watched the replay, it looked like the ball hit the net, and Indiana Tech did not touch it. But again, that's from a long distance away. You could let a whole song play out with as long as this is taking. Ref already walked away from the iPad. And it's a point to Indiana Tech. Matt Fishman wins the challenge. That means the score is 16-12, and I do believe that's 5 straight points for the Warriors. They're going to keep on serving. As now the ref has a little conversation with Xiomara Malero. And the Warriors, as they're trying to pass the time, are playing duck, duck, goose with each other. Well, when you're waiting for a verdict to be delivered and even waiting after the verdict has been delivered, can't blame these kids for passing the time. They didn't leave the gym. Had they done that, that would have been uncalled for, but nobody left the gym. And now the Warriors will keep on serving. Kristen Matlack, the freshman, will serve for Indiana Tech. They've been down, I do believe, by as many as 9 here in set number 2. They lead the match 1-0. That's bumped up again, swatted down. Wood with the dig. And that one lands in for Snyder. Lauren Snyder with the kill, and the Warriors keep on coming. How about the resiliency of these Warriors? They were down 9. Rio Piedras had all the momentum, and now Indiana Tech has worked it down to a 3-point set. Matlack serving again. Bumped over. That one's going to find no man's land. Nahirelis Rosa gets the point. Indiana Tech had gotten 6 straight points, but that's where the run is halted. That goes off of Rio Piedras, but it's still live. Swatted down and out. They're going to say touched by the Warriors. The Gallitos get 2 points back. Everything's been close when the ball's gone out. And that's going long. 18-14. Indiana Tech gets one back, and they'll bring in Paige Redder to handle the serving. Bumped up in the air by Sanchez. Swatted down, kept alive. Kept alive again. Snyder. Bumped over and kept alive by Schultz. Snyder hasn't been returned yet, but it's still live. Now it's returned. Matlack trying to set it up, and that's out. Point for the Gallitos, and it's 19-14. So the Gallitos try to get to 20 points for the set. And Hamaliesa Falcon Sanchez will serve, and she'll do so right after this timeout. We're back after this break here on this broadcast of Indiana Tech Warrior Volleyball.
From the first day, I felt very welcome at Indiana Tech.
I just really enjoy the classes and the vibe I get from all the other athletes and just the students here. Everybody's cool and everybody gets along really well.
I'm currently a senior, and since my freshman year, student life activities have really grown throughout campus, and there are so many ways that you can meet new people. You can go bowling, you can watch movies, and it's just really important to get involved on campus.
You have intramurals, anything from billiards to basketball. It's made student life very enjoyable.
I love Fort Wayne because there's always something going on, like festivals. I walk a bunch of the trails here locally. There's great restaurants. There's always something fun to do. You can never be bored here in Fort Wayne.
The school spirit at Indiana Tech is epic. It's everything. We had our first annual hockey game not too long ago. Everybody showed up, face paint, cowbells, Trojan hats, lawn gnomes. It was amazing. It makes it so worthwhile to be a Warrior. Go Warriors.
Rio Piedras is serving. This is Sanchez to serve. They're up 19-14 here in set number 2, a set that's taking quite a long time. Indiana Tech trying to come from behind. They already won set number 1. Swatted down and a kill for Schultz. Amelia Schultz. Warriors down 4 as Wood will serve. Emmeline Wood. She gets it over. Blocked down, looked like it went in. Point to the Warriors. That was either Tyke or Snyder who got the block. (1916). Wood serving. Blocked back, kept alive by the Warriors. And we had a whistle. Well, Amelia Schultz is in an awkward position. She was about to send that back over. And they gave the point to the Gallitos, 20-16. Bumped up by Matlack. Poked over and out. Point for Indiana Tech. Lauren Pasca gets the kill. Isabella Azale comes into the game for the Warriors. Warriors down 3 here in set number 2. Azale gets it over. Swatted down, still live. Sanchez returns. Azale poked over, still live again. That goes over the net and no chance at a return. Oh, that's still live. Strasma does send it over. Kept alive again, Azale. Returned by Strasma. Poked over. Strasma with the bump. Azale trying to set it up. That ball's still live. That was a nice dig there by Sanchez. A dig on the other end. And still live. A long possession. Bumped over. Soft poke, and the Warriors do get it over. That was Redder with the diving dig. Another diving dig, but out of bounds. That was Azale who tried to return it. She did return it, but it went out. And it's 21-17 Rio Piedras. Dariana Santana Morales serving for Rio Piedras. That's going out of bounds. Azale ran out of room. Azale blocked down, and it'll be 23-17. That just sneaks over the net. It skimmed the net. And a point for Rio Piedras, and they're at set point. Indiana Tech made a nice rally, but it looks as though the Gallitos are going to withstand that rally. They will if they get one more point. Wood keeps it alive. Swatted down, and a point for the Warriors. That's Strasma. Warriors still have a chance. Now for Indiana Tech, 25 points won't be enough to win the set. They need to win by 2. So they need to get to 24 points and ideally win at 26-24. Still a chance as that was bumped up by Azale. Bumped up again by Diaz. Return, did that get the line? It did. Snyder was in the area, and I think Tyke was as well. So it's 24-19. Swatted over, dug out by Azale. Poked over, but still alive. That was bumped up by Diaz. Returned by the Warriors. Swatted down and blocked. That was Tyke. Scoreboard says 24-21. It's been reset to 24-20. Kept alive by Azale. Snyder. And another kill. That's Tyke. And now it's 24-21. Indiana Tech on the comeback trail again. Timeout called by Rio Piedras. We'll take a timeout along with them. Warriors trying to come from behind.
Want to know the difference between dreaming and doing? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a Warrior. Want to know what it means to be a Warrior? Yeah, pretty much everything.
We're going to have to cut this break as Indiana Tech is ready to serve. I think that is Matlack serving for the Warriors. She gets it over, bumped up in the air. Sent over, dug out just barely. And that was Snyder who poked it over for Indiana Tech, and that is going to be set point. Yanielis Centeno Diaz secures the win in set number 2. for Rio Piedras. Indiana Tech got set number 1. Rio Piedras got set number 2. Rio Piedras has been a resilient bunch, but that was a good resilient set by Indiana Tech, even though they lost. They fell behind by 9, got it as close as 3 points. Unfortunately, they lose set number 2 by 4. 25-21 the final, and we'll be back in about 2 minutes as we get ready for set number 3 on this version of Indiana Tech Volleyball, brought to you by SummitCitySports.com.
Want to know the difference between dreaming and doing? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a warrior. Want to know what it means to be a warrior? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and walk a mile in a warrior's shoes.
Welcome to the Summit City, home to the 260's dedicated high school athletes and fans. Each victory and celebration captured by our cameras. Treasure the highlights from the Summit Athletic Conference this season, or complete games live or on demand. After all, nobody's more proud to call Fort Wayne home than SummitCitySports.com.
You want to know what's possible at Indiana Tech? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a warrior.
Indiana Tech and Puerto Rico Rio Piedras tied at 1 set apiece as we are just seconds away from the start of set number 3. Indiana Tech being led in kills by Amelia Schultz with 7. Caitlin Matlack continues to lead them in assists. She's got 15. We'll get our correct scoreboard up. And Indiana Tech and Rio Piedras will play set number 3. Indiana Tech got off to a hot start in set number 1. Ended up winning 25-10. Made a nice comeback in set number 2, but the comeback came up short. And the Gallitos win set number 2, and it's 1-1 as we go to set number 3. Warriors break their huddle. And it'll be Rio Piedras serving to start set number 3. It's Naelis Colon Santiago doing the serving for Rio Piedras. Dug out by Wood. Snyder sends it over. A chance at a return. That's Santiago who sets it up, and that was touched by the Warriors, I believe, and that is the call. And Rio Piedras will take the 1-0 lead. Scoreboard shows it's 1-0 Indiana Tech. That's incorrect. They gave the point to Rio Piedras. That's why Rio Piedras is serving. Swatted over, that's out. Now it looks like they're getting the scoreboard corrected. It should read 2-0. They've put the 2 up there for Rio Piedras, and there they took the point off the board for Indiana Tech. Bumped up in the air, swatted down by Schultz and dug out. Santiago gets to it. Schultz trying to set it up. Swatted down, still in. Santiago bumps it. That's deflected. Matlack gets to it, still alive, but not for long. Indiana Tech gets a point, and that's going to go to Schultz. Paige Redder will serve for Indiana Tech. Bumped up in the air. Santiago bumps it. Swatted down by Schultz. Swatted over. That went long. Point to the Warriors. We're tied. Redder. Santiago bumps it up. Sent back by the Warriors, and it's going to be a point for the Warriors. Looked like Pasca and Alloway were in the area. Warriors take a 3-2 lead. So we reset our scoreboard. That's deflected and down. That kill will go to Yaniela Centeno Diaz, and we're tied again at 3. Indiana Tech just got 3 straight after falling behind 2-0. And now the Gallitos will look to answer. Diaz the serve, it's out. And Indiana Tech goes up 4-3. Emmeline Wood will serve. Junior out of Blackhawk Christian High School here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. She is a junior. She might have been a part of their most recent state championship. That goes long. Did the Warriors touch it? They're going to say yes. I thought the Warriors barely avoided it. The officials say no, they did not. Bumped up in the air by Alloway. Snyder got it inside. Or check that, Pasca. Lauren Pasca. The other Lauren, who wears number 18. And the Warriors lead at 5-4. Isabella Azale will serve. Bumped up in the air, swatted down. That's going high in the air. Still a chance for Rio Piedras, and they return it. Swatted down, and that stays over the net. Point for Indiana Tech. And I think that was Pasca, either Pasca or Strasma, who got the kill. Lauren Pasca. So my initial guess was right. Isabella Alloway serving again. That's Azale. That was touched by the Warriors. Point to the Gallitos. That's Gallitos. And Yadielis Garcia Rivera will serve. One of these teams will be up 2-1 when this set is all said and done. Return by the Warriors. Whistles blow. That's going to be a point for the Gallitos. Rivera serves. Dug out. Poked over. Still alive. That one gets over. Wood digs it out. Returned by the Warriors, but the Gallitos return it. Sent back over the net. And that's in. Looked like Santiago got the point. And the Gallitos retake the lead. Rivera serves, and it's in. Gadielis Garcia Rivera with the ace, and it's 8-6. Azale keeps it alive. Blocked back and a point for the Warriors. Pasca and Tyke were in the area. And they pull within one. 8-7. Rio Piedras on top. Indiana Tech already fell to Madonna earlier today as Santiago bumps it up. Bumped back by the Warriors, and that's in. Looked like it was Dariana Santana Morales who gets the point. And the Gallitos are up 2, 9-7. Bumped up in the air. Swatted down. Out of bounds, and that's a point for Snyder. Lauren Snyder gets the kill, and the Warriors are within one again. Can they string together back-to-back points here? If they do, it'll be a tie set. Hannah Tyke serving for the Warriors. Neva Velkart, Indiana. And that was touched by Indiana Tech, I believe. Oh, no, they're going to say it wasn't. Warriors get the point. And we are tied. Tyke serves it. Santiago gets to it. That's deflected. And that's going out of bounds. Right to the Warrior bench. And the Gallitos retake the lead 10-9. Gallitos will make a substitution. That's Nairelis Aquino Rosa. Served by Mejias. And I think that was touched. They're going to say it was in anyway. Indiana Tech will get the point. That's Strasma. And they've tied the match, tied the set rather once again. The match is already tied. Whoever wins this set is going to be ahead in the match. Doesn't mean they win the match, though. Obviously, it's best 3 out of 5. And if we go to set 5, they'll play to 15 points. Santiago bumps it up, and that's going down. Lead right back to Rio Piedras. It's 11-10. Santiago will serve. Swatted down. Santiago bumps it up. Blocked back. That looked like it went out, and it did. The Gallitos get the point. They're up 2. Santiago will serve again. Bumped up in the air, poked over by Huarbe. That was Alloway, and that's down and a kill for the Gallitos. Couldn't tell who got that. It might have been Rosa. And Rio Piedras goes up 13-10. Again, the winner of this set goes up 2-1. Gets one set closer to winning the whole match. Nobody's going to win the match here in this set. Wood goes for the dig, but comes up short. And it's 14-10. That's 4 straight points for Rio Piedras. And now Matt Fishman wants a timeout. We're going to take one right along with him. Back after this break, you're watching Indiana Tech Warrior Volleyball, brought to you by SummitCitySports.com.
Tech goes by many names. Business, fine art, forensic science. Some think it's just technical. But really, tech means everything. Scholarships, internships, championships. It's professors who make time for you one-on-one. It's putting everything on the line. It can be fierce. It can be fascinating. It can be awesome. Most important, it's believing in yourself and what you have to offer the world. Because at Indiana Tech, Warriors are prepared to lead a significant life.
Back to the action. Indiana Tech down 14-10 in set number 3. Bumped over by the Warriors, kept alive. Santiago trying to set it up. And that's going out of bounds. That kill is going to go to Diaz. Ganielis Centeno Diaz. And it's 5 straight points for Puerto Rico, Rio Piedras. And now Matt Fishman's going to make a substitution. That's Caitlin Toft, a freshman out of Durant, Iowa. She hasn't gotten in the game all day long. She hasn't gotten in this game, and she didn't get into the game against Madonna either. That's Rosa with the serve. Swatted down, still live. Bumped up in the air by Toft. Swatted down and in. That's Snyder with the kill. Lauren Snyder makes it a 4-point set as the Warriors try to work their way back into this thing. Paige Redder will check in. Snyder will get a breather. Redder serves. And that's going to be an ace. Paige Redder with the service ace. And that's back-to-back points for the Warriors. They're down 3. Redder, a native of Grand Haven, Michigan. Warriors already took on the Madonna Crusaders from Livonia, Michigan earlier today. Poked over. Oh, nice dig. Redder blocked. Alloway got the block. It's still live. Swatted down, and that goes out. They are going to say that it skimmed one of the Gallitos. So Indiana Tech pulls within 2. Lauren Snyder with the kill. The Woodland graduate. Santiago bumps it up. Swatted down, blocked back and in. Alloway was there, and so was Toft. And Indiana Tech is within 1 point. Redder still serving. Santiago bumps it up. And that's going to go down. Went off the hands of Alloway. Never really got a clean touch of the ball. 16-14. Into the game comes Andrea Alvarez Montilla. Montilla serves up in the air, and that hits the net. Pasca comes up a little bit short, and it's 17-14. Into the net, point for the Warriors. Santiago, that's blocked back. Santiago digs it up. And that's going to be a net violation, I think. Either way, Warriors get the point, and they're within one. Wood sends it out. That point goes to Rio Piedras. Indiana Tech still in this game, still in this set. But they can't afford to let it get much further away as Amelisa Falcon Sanchez will serve. Swatted down and a kill for the Warriors. Was that Toft? That was Toft. Caitlin Toft. That's her first kill of the night. I'd be curious to see how many she has for the year. She's a freshman out of Durant, Iowa. Doesn't even have her kill totals listed on the stat sheet. Bumped up in the air by Santiago. Warriors within one. Poke back over, swatted down, still up. Pasca. That's going to be a point for Rio Piedras. And they're up 2 once again. Pasca has that bumped up by Sanchez. And that's off the hands of Redder and out of bounds. And it's 20-17 for Rio Piedras. Yadielis Garcia Rivera serving. She gets it over, but that's out. Lauren Pasca serving for Indiana Tech. Santiago bumps it up. Blocked back by the Warriors. Tyke has a return, but it goes out. Tyke will get the kill. (20-19). It's Pasca to serve. Pasca serves. That's going long and out of bounds. Oh, they're going to call it a point to Rio. Fishman is livid. Fishman is going to challenge. He's saying he saw that with his own eyes or something to that effect. At this point, it's a 21-19 lead for Rio Piedras, but Fishman was livid with that call. And he holds up the challenge card. Let's take a look at it on our replay as the officials look at it. It's hard to tell if anybody for Indiana Tech touched that. There you see Fishman coming out. He was not happy at all. Let's back it up a little bit, try and get a better look at it. If it was touched, it would have been touched on the front line. You can see Matt Fishman coming out. He's clearly not happy, and he pulls out the challenge card. That was a demonstration of anger if I've ever seen one. The official's still looking at it. I think that was Pasca who ducked under it on the back line. Here's another look at it as the official continues to take a look. And I may be biased as I look at it from here, but I don't think Indiana Tech touched it. Official still looking at it with the iPad. Fishman was, at least judging by his body language, was sure that his Warriors did not touch that ball. I can't read lips perfectly, but I thought I saw him mouth something like, or maybe even heard a little bit of it. He said something like, I saw that with my own eyes, and I think a verdict has been reached. Official's going to discuss it with the statisticians at the scorer's table. We'll see what the call is at the end of this. 21-19 currently the score. He's got the whistle in his mouth. They're going to call it out and a point to the Warriors. Another successful challenge by Indiana Tech. And this set is tied at 20 apiece. So the Warriors keep on serving. Dug up by Sanchez. Sent over. Wood digs it up. Swatted down, swatted back into the stands. Point for the Warriors, and they've got the lead. I think they're saying it was Pasca who got the kill. 21-20, Indiana Tech on top. Via Bowl bumps it up. Bump back over by the Gaitos. Swatted down by Azale. Dug up, headed toward the stands and out. They're going to say it was Snyder who got the kill. Timeout called by Piedras. And you know what? After the Warriors get a kill, they show little video clips of the players. And they showed a little clip of Snyder doing a little bullseye pose or archery pose. I'll take another look at this replay, this Indiana Tech Warrior replay. Thought it was Azale at first. Hard strike by Snyder. Goes off of Sanchez, and ultimately the Gaitos have no shot at a return. And it's 22-20. Indiana Tech was down 3 not too long ago. They were down 20-17. They've scored 5 straight. Can they keep it going? This match is tied 1-1. Indiana Tech going up against Puerto Rico-Rio Piedras from NCAA Division II. They won set 1 handily. 25-10 was the final there. They've come out of the timeout. Rio Piedras already out of the timeout. Each team looks like they've got 1 timeout left here in set number 3. It's Pasca to serve for Indiana Tech. Pasca sends it off the net. And the Gaitos get one back. Gaitos will make a sub. That's Diaz who checks in. She'll give Montilla a breather. Warriors made a comeback effort in set number 2 that fell short. All poked over. Azale with the point. Oh, wait a second. They're going to say she reached her arm over. I thought for sure that was for Azale. Fishman getting an explanation from the official. At this point, it's tied at 22. Here's a look at the replay. Oh, my apologies. I thought the screen had frozen. Yeah, nothing had frozen there. Here's another look at it. Does Azale reach out? Well, she hits the ball and pokes it over. Didn't see anything illegal there. But in the end, it's going to be 22-22. Bumped up in the air. Swatted down, still alive. It was Volleyball who got to it. Bumped up in the air again. Trying to set up Snyder. She got it. Lauren Snyder with the kill. Warriors up 1. Tyke serving for Indiana Tech. Diaz sends it over. Bumped up in the air, poked over. Just over the net. Azale trying to set up Snyder. Dug out by Sanchez. Via Bowl. That's long, out of bounds. Warriors are up to set point. 24-22. Tyke will serve again. She gets it over. Via Bowl. Is that a violation? It is. It's a point for Indiana Tech. 25-22. They win set number 2. And Indiana Tech goes up 2-1. I should say they win set number 3. And like I said earlier, they go up 2-1. The Warriors looking to knock off Puerto Rico-Rio Piedras from the NCAA. Indiana Tech is from the NAIA. But Puerto Rico-Rio Piedras comes to us out of NCAA Division II. It came with some adversity, but the Warriors take set number 3. And we will be right back in 2 minutes as Indiana Tech and Rio Piedras get ready for set number 4. This broadcast is brought to you by SummitCitySports.com.
Want to know the difference between dreaming and doing? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a Warrior. Want to know what it means to be a Warrior? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and walk a mile in a Warrior's shoes.
Welcome to the Summit City, home to the 260's dedicated high school athletes and fans. Each victory and celebration captured by our camera. Treasure the highlights from the Summit Athletic Conference this season, or complete games live or on demand. After all, nobody's more proud to call Fort Wayne home than SummitCitySports.com.
You want to know what's possible at Indiana Tech? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a Warrior.
Well, Indiana Tech up 2-1 over Puerto Rico-Rio Piedras out of NCAA Division II. Indiana Tech, of course, playing in the NAIA. Madonna was up 2-1 over Rio Piedras, and Rio ended up winning the game, winning the match 3-2. Two teams will switch sides. It's actually after the Warriors won set number 3, they showed a picture of, I think it was Paige Redder, holding up a plate full of pancakes. Looks like those pancakes might have come from IHOP. I can't say whether or not they did. I think they still have orders where you can order a stack of pancakes. Warriors will get their libero, Emmeline Wood, onto the court. Right now, Rio Piedras has 6 on the court, but the libero, Sanchez, Jamelesa Sanchez, waiting right off the court. The way it works is you have 6 on the court each time. Unlike in basketball where you have 5 on the court. Of course, one sport where you have 6 on the field, or should I say on the ice, is hockey. You get 5 skaters and 1 goalie. Speaking of hockey, Indiana Tech women's hockey is taking on Eastern Michigan. That game's underway right now at the Parkview Sport One Ice House, and it's a 0-0 tie early on in the first period. It's Kristen Matlack to serve for the Warriors. Matlack, a freshman out of Norwalk, Ohio. She's been impressive in her serving today as well as in her setting up. That one's blocked down. Looked like Toft got a hand on it. Blocked again, and the Warriors will get the point. Snyder was in the area, so was Alloway. And I think they've given that point to Alloway as Indiana Tech starts off 1-0. Served by Matlack. Deflected, dug out by Wood, dug up by Santiago. That goes out. Point to the Warriors off of Diaz. Kristen Matlack, the freshman, will serve again. Warriors had a great start in set number 1. If you were around long enough, you know how that ended. This good start continues. That's going to be an ace for Matlack. Matlack serves again. Dug up, swatted back, and another ace. Kristen Matlack. Ace is wild. Back-to-back aces for Matlack. Down again, 3 aces in a row. Matlack having her way early on. Bumped up in the air. Swatted down. That's off Indiana Tech. It goes off of Toft. And a point for Diaz. Rio Piedras is on the board. Diaz will serve. Bumped up in the air. Hit high in the air by Matlack. Sanchez gets to it. Blocked down, and a point for the Warriors. Was that Toft? Sounds like it was. Caitlin Toft, the freshman from Iowa, makes it 6-1. Paige Redder serving. Swatted down, and that's going to be a kill for Dariana Santana Morales. That was a hard swat. Tough to return that one. And Jamelesa Sanchez will serve. Matlack sets it up and down. Pasca with the kill. Hannah Tyke into the game for Indiana Tech as Wood comes in. Bumped over. Dug up. Wood trying to set it up. Toft got it. Caitlin Toft with a pair of kills here in set number 4. The Durant, Iowa native. And a freshman as well. I don't believe she played at all in the Madonna game earlier today. Low line driver served by Wood. Poked over, kept alive by Matlack. Pasca, did she get the line? They're going to say no. And Fishman might want to challenge this one. He does. Well, I put that 9th point up. At this point, that's not correct. But that ball looked like it landed right on the line. And my apologies if you can't see this replay. I'm operating without a cameraman here. We'll see if we can see where this ball lands. It looked like it caught the line. That's in. It might have even been deflected. That looked like it landed actually on the inside part of the line. Right now the score reads 8-3. Matt Fishman has not been afraid to challenge. He's been successful a couple of times. The official's still looking at it. At the replay we showed you, it sure looked like it was in. Looks like a verdict has been reached. And they've changed the call. Matt Fishman has won the challenge again. And it's 9-2 in favor of Indiana Tech. And Emmeline Wood will continue to serve. Emmeline, I beg your pardon. I believe I made that mistake in the first game earlier today. Wood serving, lets it go. Up in the air. Swatted down, dug out by Matlack. Pasca bumps it over. Bump back over and out. Pasca will get the point, and it's 10-2 Indiana Tech. Or was that Snyder? That might have actually been Snyder. Great start to set number 4 for the Warriors. 10-2 they lead it. Just barely dug out by Diaz. Matlack trying to set up Toft. That goes long. Fishman won the challenge when Pasca got the line, but it looked like that ball went over the line. And now subs will come in as Andrea Alvarez Montilla checks in, along with Isabella Barrero Villabol. Bumped up in the air. Matlack gets to it. Swatted down. Still up. Just barely kept alive, but into no man's land. Matlack tried to set somebody up, but nobody for the Warriors was able to dig that one out. Dug out Matlack. Swatted down, just kept alive. Tyke tried to set her up, and Sanchez digs it out. That's going out of bounds. That's 3 straight points for the Gallitos. And they've made it 10-5. Matt Fishman has something to say to his team. And the Gallitos will continue to serve. I believe that's Villabol who's serving. Isabella Villabol. Swatted down by Toft. Chance of a return. Tyke got it. She got the kill and it even ricocheted off the back judge. Caitlin Toft showing some promise. She'll get a breather as J.C. Strasma comes back in for Indiana Tech. They're up 6. Indiana Tech takes on Siena Heights on Wednesday. Azale serving. That hits the net. Point to the Warriors. Isabella Azale serving again. Back-to-back points for Indiana Tech. Viabol gets to it. Wood sets it up. Swatted over by Pasca, but still alive. Deflected, that's out of bounds off Indiana Tech. Oh, wait a second. They give the point to the Warriors. Well, it definitely went out. I thought it touched Indiana Tech. Surprised that Coach Malero has not used the challenge. She's got it at her disposal. That one just creeps over the net. It's an ace for Azale. Rio Piedras with a timeout as Azale, the South Carolina native, gets the ace. See if we can't get a look at that last play where the ball was called to have gone out off of Rio Piedras. That's hard to see if the Warriors didn't touch that. I thought they did. Ball definitely ricocheted off the net. Might be that the call was that it ricocheted off the net and did not touch Indiana Tech, but from watching that replay, it looked like it did. I just say that because that's how it looked from my vantage point. 14-5 the score in favor of Indiana Tech. And Rio Piedras looking for a comeback. They're 6-1 on the season. They play out of NCAA Division II. But Indiana Tech, after losing to Madonna earlier today and then seeing Rio Piedras beat Madonna here on this very gym, they're trying to get a huge win for their resume. They're up 2-1 as Azale serves. That goes out. The point for Rio Piedras. I think that's Jack Koshko, one of the assistant athletic director here at Indiana Tech. Assistant sports information director. Jesse Biggs is the athletic director. I don't think Indiana Tech technically has an assistant athletic director, but they do have multiple sports information directors. That's Tyke who gets the kill. Hannah Tyke. And the Warriors have pulled within 9. They've pulled ahead by 9. Lauren Snyder has gotten a good long break. She'll come back into the game. Dug out by Sanchez. Blocked down and a point for the Warriors. Tyke was there. Strasma was there. It sounded like they gave the point to Strasma. Dug out. Swatted down, kept alive. Snyder has it dug up by Sanchez. Blocked back, kept alive. Poked over. Azale trying to set up Strasma. It's still live, and a kill on the other side for Montia. Dug out by Wood. Swatted down, still live. Bumped over. Azale trying to set it up. Snyder. That was dug out by Morales. Wood digs it up, gets it over. And Diaz trying to send it back. It's blocked back. Blocked back again, and that gets down. Snyder was there. And so was Tyke. And now Hannah Tyke will serve, the junior out of Elkhart, Indiana. Bumped up in the air. Azalea swatted over by Strasma. Blocked down and a point. J.C. Strasma and Jacqueline Alloway were there, and the Warriors go up 18-7. Hannah Tyke to serve. Got it over, got it in. She snuck it over and kept it inside that end line. Hannah Tyke with the ace. I believe that's 4 aces this set for Indiana Tech. 3 of those belong to Kristen Matlack. Tyke just snuck it over, still alive. Poked over, dug out by Azalea. Poked back over again. Azalea bumps it. Snyder with the kill. Lauren Snyder, the Woodland High School graduate. Tyke serving, almost got it down, just barely dug out. Blocked down. Jacqueline Alloway with the block, as they show shots of her doing push-ups on the video board. Hannah Tyke to serve. And that's long. The streak comes to an end. It's now 21-8. And Rio Piedras will look to answer. Nayelis Colon Santiago will serve for the Gallitos. Dug out, but short. Kept alive, bumped over. Sanchez has it. Deflected, and that's down. Strasma hesitated. And that's going to be back-to-back points for Rio Piedras. I believe this is Santiago serving again. Azalea sets it up, swatted down and in. Jacqueline Alloway. A strong, hard kill. Caitlin Toft will check in along with Kristen Matlack. And Matlack will serve. She's done a good job of this. She's got a few aces already here in set number 4. Swatted down and deflected. Point for the Gallitos. And it's 22-10. Kritia Diaz-Huarbe will do the serving. Into the net. Point for the Warriors. Paige Redder, senior from Grand Haven, Michigan, will serve. 23-10. Dug out. Kept alive for now. A return from the Gallitos. Snyder kept alive. Bumped over. Swatted down, still alive. Poked over by Morales. Swatted down. Sanchez goes down. Morales returns it. Long series of volleys. And that's going to be a point for Snyder. Lauren Snyder. And this is match point. Puerto Rico Rio Piedras came into today at 5-1. They beat Madonna here in this gym. Indiana Tech with a big chance here. Dug up by Sanchez. Swatted down. Wood digs it. Redder on the back line. Still in. Wood bumps it up. Snyder. Dug out by Sanchez. Blocked down and a point. Alloway was there and so was Toft, and that'll do it. Indiana Tech with a win over Rio Piedras from NCAA Division II. What a win for the Warriors as they celebrate this victory, shaking hands right at the net. Matt Fishman will shake hands with the officials. Warriors go 1-1, winning against Rio Piedras. They lost to Madonna earlier. Madonna beats Indiana Tech, loses to Rio Piedras, and Rio Piedras beats Madonna but loses to Indiana Tech. The Warriors win it 25-10. There's the live stats for Indiana Tech. Hannah Tyke Hannah Tyke with 7 kills in the game. 8 for Schultz, 12 for Pasca, 7 for Snyder, 7 for Strasma. Matlack 3 aces in the game. She also comes up with 20 assists. Azalea with 17 assists as well. We're going to give Matlack the Parkview Sports Medicine Player of the Game recognition. 20 assists, 3 aces. Even though she doesn't end up with any kills, 20 assists, 3 aces is an impressive night for Matlack as the Warriors win. Matlack, your PSM Player of the Game. Now let's make that official. It should be 3-1 is the final score there. Indiana Tech the winner. And again, Caitlin Matlack with 20 assists and 3 aces is your PSM Player of the Game. Let's also make it a final here. The Indiana Tech Warriors a winner as they knock off Puerto Rico Rio Piedras 3-1. That's going to do it from here at Schaefer Center. For everybody at Summit City Sports, this is Thad Goff saying so long from Schaefer Center. The Warriors win it. Final score of 3-1. You've been watching Indiana Tech Volleyball, brought to you by Summit City Sports. Brought to you by SummitCitySports.com.
From the first day, I felt very welcome at Indiana Tech.
I just really enjoy the classes and the vibe I get from all the other athletes and just the students here. Everybody's cool and everybody gets along really well.
I'm currently a senior, and since my freshman year, student life activities have really grown throughout campus, and there's so many ways that you can meet new people. You can go bowling, you can watch movies, and it's just really important to get involved on campus.
We have intramurals, anything from billiards to basketball. It's made student life very enjoyable.
I love Fort Wayne because there's always something going on, like festivals. I walk a bunch of the trails here locally. There's great restaurants. There's always something fun to do. You can never be bored here in Fort Wayne.
The school spirit at Indiana Tech is epic. It's everything. We had our first annual hockey game not too long ago. Everybody showed up, face paint, cowbells, Trojan hats, lawn gnomes. It was amazing. It makes it so worthwhile to be a Warrior. Go Warriors.